Which made this?
I know you think I'm crazy, but it's not me. It's the world. The world's gone mad. Because Martians have invaded the...
Dude, is that the diner out of Jose Chung?
Take it easy, mister.
Typically Darren Morgan then.
Can't take it easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you
Some kind of sick joke,
The
buddy?
Twilight Zone.
Oh, it's no joke. And my name's not Buddy.
Looks like a freaking vampire. Looks like Grandpa in The Munsters. What tagline we got today? Oh, just a normal. Wow, blimey. Ooh, big Bill Down? Chuck's in this! Awesome!
Hello?
Mulder, it's me. Where have you been? I've been trying your cell all day. I think you just like saying squatching. We still on for dinner tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'll see you then.
Wait, you're having
Did I
dinner?
ever tell you about the time I found a Sasquatch footprint in the mud?
Yeah, you
It's
did.
35 years ago.
Mulder, I've heard this before.
On the banks of the mighty
Mulder, you
Mogo
already told me.
Go River
Gotta
in
go,
beautiful
gotta go,
British
Mulder.
Columbia, Scully. Scully.
Wow, how many times has she heard that? So, like, they are dating now, right? Having dinner? And why hasn't he seen her before that? I mean, they could have had sex out in the woods if you'd invited her along. I mean, just saying. Oh, somebody else with us.
They are why you don't remember. Why aren't people getting probed by aliens anymore? You used to know, but they made you forget.
Ask Chris Carter.
That you wouldn't remember me.
Look, what is this all about?
There's no way for me to make you understand without me seeming like a crazy madman.
It's a little late for that. I think your ride is here.
This is like the meeting with Jimmy Bond in the Lone Gunman series.
It's The Lost Martian, right? You remember that?
It's a classic. So I came over and I checked my box DVD set and it wasn't on there. I checked all my episode guidebooks, no mention of it. I actually searched online, nothing. So now I'm going
Dude,
through my tapes.
she wants
I'm sure
sex.
I recorded it at some point.
Go!
Well, maybe it's one of those other shows, like Outer Limits or...
Confuse the Twilight Zone with the Outer Limits? Do you even know me?
Can we talk about this over dinner, please?
I'm not going to be able to eat until I find this. Ever again.
Seriously?
It can't be that good of an episode.
It's not about the episode, Scully. It's about my memory of seeing my first Twilight Zone.
Dude, she's finally opening up to you again.
You don't forget that. I was 8 years old. My parents let me stay up
What
till
the
midnight because that was
fuck?
back in the day when it only aired, late at night on some local channel. Wait. What?
Somebody's been watching too many of the GIF Gaff videos.
I remember it all so clearly, as if it just happened.
Seriously, she even brought dinner with her. Wait, they weren't going for dinner,
staying
like,
up again?
to a restaurant? Oh, you have no idea, dude.
Are you that guy that met with Mulder last night?
What gave it away, Skulls?
Skulls?
He mentioned the forehead sweat.
Excuse...
I need you to help me find someone.
Who?
Me? They're trying to erase me!
Pretty sure...
Look, I can prove it.
Didn't somebody call her Skulls in the original series? You don't mess with her. Wait, she took her... Wait, where is this?
Well, where did you find this?
My fingerprints are on that box.
I'm confused. Where is this?
Unreal!
Why didn't she park at Mulder's? What?
Wait! But again, how is this mystery guy?
You're
whose
rocking that
fingerprints
desk,
came up with
Scully.
nothing?
Why do you not have your
How does he
own?
even know about these secret memories of ours?
You can ask him yourself tonight. I already taped it next to the window this morning.
But that's your secret rendezvous signal. I don't want to intrude.
He clearly wants you involved, Scully. Come on, it'll be like a date.
Nice.
Oh, this is romantic.
Yeah. Only Mulder would consider a car park as a date.
So who are you?
I think my name is Reggie. Reggie something.
Well, Mr. Something, you want to tell us what this is all about?
My search led me to a historical repository of vintage Americana.
What is this? Family Guy?
Excuse me, do you have any old Dr. Russell books?
That's something somebody might actually want, so no. I do have something over in the political shame section that might interest
Wow,
you.
Chuck Burks has fallen a long way.
It's a cartoon that Dr. Wuzzle drew back in 1940.
Seriously, you have Bill Dow in an episode and don't have him as Chuck?
Easy, easy. If you're gonna break something, use the Evil Knievel doll and make it more authentic.
Political, economical, cultural, runs the gamut from Holocaust denial to corporate product recognition. There are companies who are willing to pay anything, do anything, to have people forget that their products explode on impact or suddenly catch fire.
Darren, did Chris Carter get a hold
Companies
of
like
your
G
script?
spending billions in profit to
Wait,
repress these
what?
memories.
Yeah.
Products explode on impact or suddenly corporate product recognition. There are companies who are willing to pay anything, do anything, to have people forget that their products explode on impact or suddenly catch fire. The companies like G spending billions in profit to
fuck?
repress these memories. The only thing I haven't been able to do is to figure out how they're doing
Okay.
it.
They can't. I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous. I mean, the Mandela effect is
It's the
simply,
Mingle effect, guys. It's the Mingle effect. Just say it.
is simply people misremembering stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe. Mention. This has the discrepancies. That's science, Scully.
Theoretical
Wow.
science. at
His
best.
way of trying to get
Over
her
at
on his side is always
Like, I do
science.
this parallel universe, sci-fi, gobbledygook, nerd boy. Okay, so just please drop it, because that crap gives me a headache.
It's a lot better than some evil entities.
Yeah, but the
zapping
many
people's
worlds
brains with a
interpretation
hypno
is
ray gun.
I
a
never
little
mentioned
more
the
complex
hypno
than
ray
that.
gun.
Guys, it's faulty memory because Occam's razor.
That's Ozzy's razor, not Occam's. It's always been Ozzy's razor.
Is this
Maybe
scene
it's a
still
parallel
going on?
universe It is, but in still yet another universe is perhaps known as Occam's axe.
It's not parallel universes! Look, since I'm the only one with any proof of this insidious
What
plot,
proof?
What the hell was that?
That video was unbelievable.
you want to hear unbelievable, check out some of these comments. I think the editing could have been tighter. This jerk just says meh.
Yeah, still probably
I
didn't get
stumbled
kicked
across
out
this
the
on the dark
YouTube
net. I
partner
tried to confirm
program
as
though.
much of it as I could, but I was only able to verify the most important part, the Grenada thing.
That was the most important part.
Tell me, Little Miss Skeptic, why did we invade Grenada?
When was that again?
There was a Marxist overthrow of the government, and Reagan was concerned about some U.S.
Scully being made out to be completely oblivious to
No,
every
just
reference of
listen.
this.
You're just embarrassing yourself at this point. Those were the official reasons. It all came floating back to me.
Now we're dealing with recovered memories? I'm sorry. I'm out.
Somebody with some sense.
Told us is theoretically possible. More likely in another universe.
Well, at least Mulder's
One thing I
following
didn't
her.
forget was the telepathic screams of that alien.
Wait, what are you?
And that's how I started the X-Files.
What?
That's right. We used to be partners!
What? What the fuck? Takes me back to Rhett and Link's I Want to Believe song.
Most unwanted.
Move along, sugar boobs. This is the X-Files. No women allowed.
Well, is that commentary or what you actually believe, Darren?
That guy is so creepy. Changes world history.
This is secretly why they did the Blu-rays, so that they could have the widescreen
Lands on the moon.
version for...
The U.S. never invades Grenada. Wait. What's this about Grenada? Guys, if this turns out to be Killer Cats, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
I think everybody was disappointed with Jess on this
If she's
picture.
their mother, how can she be their... Oh boy.
I will say, the green screen is a lot better than it was on, the first episode. Darren just wanted to be in this, that's all it was.
All those memories? You guys mean to tell me you don't remember any of that? Really? Well, tell that to his henchmen.
We're 25 minutes into this episode, and we're still in this scene.
He sent more of them. The legend that I've heard so much about would have already figured out who this guy was you've been talking to.
Wait,
And why we were asked to find out why you
since
are.
when was Mulder a legend?
But I guess that's how things go. You start out a rebel, but then you get fat, and the next thing you know, you're deep state. Sad.
Okay, I think they're only considered legends in fan fiction.
You know who I am? I'm Fox Mulder. I was fighting the power and breaking conspiracies before you saw your first chemtrail, you punks. I'm Fox freaking Mulder, you punks. I'm Fox Mulder. Fox Mulder.
So this moron's father.
Okay. Well, at least we're at the car park.
Bob Dylan.
They're like the joke of the FBI. Why would they be referred to as legends?
With the word soy bomb written on his chest, jumped on stage and started dancing like a spaz.
Who's that?
Dr. They.
Why not? What the fuck is that? That is just fucking creepy. Please don't tell me that exists in real life. That's just for this show. Why would anybody make that?
Dr. They, I presume? You're dead.
He's been dead like 5 times already, so.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I meant your time. Agent
Not
Mulder.
scare so much as
Your
threaten, I
time
think would be the
is
point.
past.
Okay, so what is or what was my time?
And I no doubt the kids will come up with some catchphrase for it. Poco or something. They'll say like, oh, that's so poco. That'll make you wish you really weren't dead.
As long as the truth gets out.
No, seriously. Did Chris Carter write this
whether the truth
secretly?
gets out, because the public no longer knows what's meant by the truth. Although it turns out you don't really have to. All you need is some people to think it's possible. And then you've sown the seeds of uncertainty.
Please.
You really need
We saw
it for
season
that.
10. The
that's what this is
the
all about,
unbelievability
spread
of
of
people
online
believing
misinformation.
Tad was
You know, our current president once said something truly profound. He said, nobody knows for sure.
What was he referring to?
What does it matter?
I really feel sorry for any Republicans that watch this show. Seriously. And the point of that character was? except for sound like a grumpy old man. That's just wrong.
The first thing I need to do is find out who you are.
His name is Reginald Murgatroyd.
Heavens to Murgatroyd! Seriously?
I tracked down your high school transcripts. You only spent a few weeks there and you didn't graduate.
Snagglepuss
After
reference.
completing your GEDs, you enlisted in the army and participated in the invasion of Grenada, where one of the resistance soldiers / construction workers hit you on the head with a shovel.
When did that stop? Maybe it's another Mingle effect, right? Well, take care, guys.
What the
Stay
fuck?
sane. And good luck with the rest of your cases.
Okay, this is like the
Reggie.
second episode in a row that mental health has been
Our
strangely
last case
portrayed.
together. What happened?
I found the truth that's out there.
We are building a wall. It will be
Oh
a
my
beautiful,
God.
albeit invisible, electromagnetic wall that will subatomically incinerate any probes you attempt to send beyond your solar system. You're free to explore Uranus all you want, but we can't allow your kind to infiltrate the rest of the cosmos. You're not sending us your best people. You're bringing drugs. You're bringing crime. You're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people, but we have no choice. Believe me, for although the rest of the galaxies all have their share of these same problems, we fear you could infect us with the one trait that is unique to Earthlings.
Show us what you
lie.
got!
To show there are no hard feelings, we've compiled a compendium of answers to any questions you might still have regarding anything.
This is the end of the X-Files. But maybe the point wasn't to find the truth, but to find each other.
Really? You're
No matter
quoting
where we
Sunshine
go in our
Days?
lives, we will always have the memories of our time together, and no one can take those away or alter them in such a way to make us doubt that they actually happened.
Oh, Reggie,
No, that's what fanfiction's for.
I've always...
You'd probably give her a better date, to be fair.
Couldn't find anything to set it in, so I used your Bigfoot impression as a mold.
I think this is the most they've been in casual wear in any season.
Oh, no, wait, you first. It could be the lemon lime.
But
Oh, there's a shit ton of Jello for two people. Love how Igly's watching her.
I want to remember how it was. I want to remember how it all was.
Oh. Wait. Hang on. Does that mean that she's like? Huh? Greetings, fellow Africans. I am here to telepathically talk to you about the fourth episode of The X-Files' Season 11, titled The Lost Art of Forehead Sweat. For I am far more intelligent and less annoying than her. Oh my god, what did I just watch? I am gonna get so much hate for this. So, let me start by saying, Darren Morgan for me, while genius, while a funny writer, his episodes for me can be quite hit and miss. It's not that they're bad, that any are bad by any means, but I've never been much of a fan of anything surreal.
This is why stuff like Monty Python, etc., really usually goes over my head. There's a lot of Monty Python that I like, but I'm just saying, again, that can be quite hit and miss humour-wise. And I think that's a very, humour is one of those things that sometimes you just have to be in the right mood for. And thinking about a lot of Darren Morgan's episodes, we have, Jose Chung for me is the one that stands out, where it's funny, but at the same time you just have to be in the right mood for it. And this is the thing, it's just, this episode, bearing in mind the last episode he wrote was Mulder and Scully Meet the Weremonster, which was hilarious, brilliantly acted and stuff, amazing pacing, and just a good all-round story. Whereas this episode, just not much I can say about it. It's really, I think the pacing is off. The car park scene goes on for way too long, and the episode as a whole comes across sometimes like it's written by some old guy that is like, oh, those young whippersnappers, references to, like hashtags and challenges and YouTube stuff, and that it just comes off sounding like, like what has happened with every generation, like, the young people are blowing things out, and a lot of this, as with Chris Carter's episodes, constantly drone on about the political stuff, and really dates this episode when it gets watched in the future, because we've said this about like my struggles and stuff, is that it dwells way too much on very current political situations. And I said it last time. Yes, of course, the original show did that, but not in the same way that automatically dated the show. Whereas a lot of the stuff at the moment does. And a lot of trends will move on, and a lot of the stuff will evolve and not be the same in the future. So, yeah, all this stuff with Dr. Day and stuff, all the stuff he was coming... What was even the point of that character? I was just like, okay, hello, goodbye. It was a really cheap, like, disposable way of having a good moan and then dumping him kind of thing. He never turns up again. Reggie, brilliantly played by Brian Husky, I think it was. But, and for those who didn't notice, the second episode, when they were at Skinner's apartment looking through the X-Files, there was an FBI badge picture of Reggie, but it didn't have his name. It didn't have any name on it. And John Sanders, who's been very kindly commenting on all these reaction videos, he pointed out, he said, oh, that's Reggie. And I was just like, I recognised, having seen like promo pictures and that, I recognised that was who it was. But it didn't twig at the time, especially because obviously we hadn't met his character yet. So, yeah, that was a nice little touch, and now having seen this episode, it's nice to see that thread was put in there. But yeah, just I think it's, and they took an interesting concept with the whole bad memories and what is called the Mandela effect. They took a very interesting concept there of how memories and stuff change. And just really, they stretched a very small joke and spread it really thinly. Like literally as thin as you could get. And it just got tedious. I just don't know. there's some interesting messages in here it's trying to put in, but and there's some fun acting by all involved. I don't get why normally. David Duchovny has said this. Darren Morgan seems to have a thing against Mulder. It always makes him look stupid and stuff. But in this episode particularly, he kind of made Scully seem like a really ill-informed numpty. You know, she'd never heard of the Mandela effect. Fine. You know, a lot of people don't know that. But she didn't know about Grenada, she didn't know about Laundar, she didn't know about anything. And Mulder had to explain everything. And I was just like, really? Like, this show at the moment is on very thin ice regarding the whole... And I get it's done for comedic effect. But this show is on a really, like, trouble with women issues at the moment. And it just... I get that the whole sugar boobs thing... Why sugar boobs, not sugar tits? I didn't get that. It's not like that's a swear or anything. You know what? That was funny. I felt like that was a commentary regarding, you know, oh, there's no room. This is the X-Files, no room for women. But at the same time, I didn't know how much of it was being like opinionated. I was like, and everybody's gonna be like, duh, it was a joke. And I get that, but I just with the all other issues that have been dogging this series, it just felt like it was hitting a little too close to you know, an issue. But yeah, Scully's really made out to be kind of dumb in this. And that, like, the lawn darts, and again, I'm not American, I'm not from the 70s, even I know what lawn darts are. But Mulder's response when he was like, oh, we were made of sterner stuff back in the day, it's like, dude, you're not that much older than her. What the hell? It was as if he was talking to somebody half his age or something. So, there was that. Like I say, it was nice to see Bill Dow, but I'm gutted. I don't know if he was supposed to be Chuck, or it was maybe Reggie's version, you know, having heard about Chuck in stories. Maybe he just put Chuck in that situation. Either that, or Bill Dow is playing a completely different character, which is highly likely. But it was good to see him. I always enjoy his work, and really miss seeing him and stuff. So it was good to see him back. But he was underutilized, and it's just the stuff with the Martian. Again, I don't think it was Maurice LaMarche, but it kind of sounded like him a little bit. I could just imagine him doing that voice. That was so bizarre. And at the end of the day, like, what was the whole point of this episode? You could say, oh, I mean, here's the thing. The last bit that really had me on a bit, like, because it's nice to see that Mulder and Scully do seem to be trying the whole dating thing again. And it's nice after last week's episode, because I have to admit, you know what, I watched Plus One again with a friend, and I actually enjoyed it way, way more than I did the first time. I still don't think it deserved any more points, there are still problems with it, but I enjoyed it a lot more. And realising that Karen Knavel was playing both the siblings blew my mind. I didn't realise that going in, and afterwards, just watching that and knowing that she was both roles, I was just like, that's amazing. But anyway, the point is that and my teenage self is still running around in the teenage part of my brain is still running around in my head going, they had sex twice. Whereas the adult part of me is like, yeah, but there was that really bad dialogue. The teenage. So I'm happy that Mulder and Scully are back together, of course. I'm happy that there's not some weird friends with benefits issue where they're just hooking up in a hotel room every now and then. I love that Scully, like, hopes for more with Mulder, but it just ends up getting disappointed every time. And I can imagine, again, much like I said with the awkwardness of last week, I feel like that's something that we could have had when they were first hooking up, kind of thing. So I feel like issues that, you know, stuff that we've not seen before is being covered, kind of thing. But the bit at the end, so I got why she didn't want to eat the Jello. That, you know, she had this memory of the Goopo being the most amazeballs things on the planet, and she didn't want to taint that memory, kind of thing. So I get why she was like, you know what, I want to remember how it was, and leave it at that. But then she says, I want to remember how all of it was. Now, you would think, oh, that's sweet, and especially the look Mulder gives her. And I've seen some discussion on Facebook where people are like, oh, it was adorable, la la la. But the thing is I'm concerned that she's saying she wants to remember how the relationship was, and as a result doesn't want to taint it by trying again. I hope that this doesn't... I mean, I know I'm probably reading way too much into this, but the way she says it, it just gives... Because of the context that it's used, when, you know, used with, like, the memory of her childhood and everything that meant to her, she could say, oh, you know, I remember the relationship from before, I don't want to taint that memory. Is she saying then that she doesn't want to try again, or what? Or is it, yeah, let's recreate those memories? I don't know. I'm a bit unsure about that, what it was implying. But yeah, that just had me a bit on edge. But yeah, this episode, I really don't know what to say. There were funny bits. There were entertaining bits. It was mildly entertaining. I really have an issue. Again, as I said earlier, this is like the second episode in a row that has dealt with mental health issues in the most awkward, stereotypical, let's use it as a joke while we deal with this nut job. It just feels uncomfortable. I get this was a comedic episode, but on the heels of, say, last week's one, it just felt really, again, uninformed, and I just felt a little awkward. As somebody who has mental health issues and is friends with people with mental health issues, I thought it was a little bit clumsy. And touching on that, so he was a nut job, but that doesn't explain the whole him and the guys that were following randomly disappearing. What was that all about? And also, what was with that glitch when he started talking about, like, a company, and then he went and cut to something else? And I checked, that's not just my copy. It's on the actual YouTube, the X-Files YouTube channel. They've got that clip on their channel, and it does exactly the same in that. So it's not just my copy of the show. So what was it? It's not even like that happened more than once. It just felt like a really bad edit. I don't know if there's something I'm missing that I should be like, oh, that's what it's doing. But yeah, no, I didn't feel that at all. So I don't know what that issue is. But yeah, I don't get how they would, like, randomly disappearing and then reappearing. It's like, oh, okay. And how are they getting a hold of this guy? They're using the old tape on the window thing, but otherwise, it's like, how did he know stuff and how was he finding them and that? And again, I stand by the, wait, so she went to his with dinner, but then she's in this random parking lot? What was in the bag? Was that something different? Like, I got the impression she'd come from his, but there was a whole continuity issue there. So yeah, this episode, I was so looking forward to this episode. Again, Darren Morgan is a bit hit and miss for me, so I'm always a little dubious. But all the previews and that, I was so intrigued and fascinated to see what this would do. It just did not. I don't want to use payoff in the same way that I did last week, because that just did not have any payoff. This had payoff, but not in an I didn't feel like there was a true point to it all, except for, I don't know, trying to teach them memory, about memories that can be twisted and stuff, and again, there was a very fan fiction-esque. I don't know what's going on this season. I feel like they were like, oh, we've heard the fans, we know what the fans want, and it feels like in their need to please the fans, they've gone on some fan fiction music video, all the fandom tropes to get their view of what we want or something. Obviously not as much this week, but yeah, there was a lot here that felt like they were invading the, especially right down to the Gift Gaff style, David's head on the child, that didn't even look like a real child's body. That looked like an actual just animation, a weird animation. So, yeah, that was so bizarre. And there's so much, this feels like, I said Family Guy while watching it, but it felt like a Family Guy episode. It was just like the most random things. It felt like somebody was throwing lawn darts, actually. It felt like, all the random things were being thrown at the wall to see what would stick. And it just felt like so much was trying to happen in this, and nothing did. And it does not help with a car park scene. Sorry about that. It does not help with a car park scene that goes on for like 15 minutes. I mean, holy crap. But that all being said, it's not a bad episode by any means. It is entertaining. I can't imagine it having much rewatchability. I think if you're just having a random marathon, it could slip in there, but it is nowhere near as entertaining and as fulfilling as Mulder and Scully Meet the Were-Monster, or Clyde Bruckman, or any of Darren's other stuff. I wouldn't say this is his worst episode. I don't know. I'm really like I say, Jose Chung is a good episode, but it's one of those ones that you have to be in the mood for. And Charles Nelson Riley and that are so good in that episode. But yeah, there's random stuff in that episode, and this actually does feel very, very much like a Jose Chung's From Outer Space 2.0. There's elements in this that are similar to it, that feel like they're paying homage, and just generally, take the same steps. So yeah, it does feel very classic, but yeah, I think really it and Jose Chung are interchangeable for me. They just feel like I need to be in the right mood for rewatchability. But as a first watch, it was entertaining. I had a good laugh. But yeah, just nowhere near. I would give it a 7 out of 10 because it's not a bad episode. And I want to give it more points for my struggle. But yeah, I'd give it a 7. It's nowhere near the strongest episode of the 4 that we've seen. Even Plus One was stronger than this, to be honest. Yeah, that was the last start of Forehead Sweat. which I still keep going to call forehead sex. That was the 4th episode. I know the next episode is written by James Wong, Ghoulie, which I'm immature enough to keep thinking of as like the slang for testicles. So, but it's supposed to be a really emotional one. So I will make sure I have my cuddle bunny with me next week. Yeah, it's supposed to involve William and that. So I know, as I've said before, the comedic episodes are always put in place to set up for the emotional ones. Knowing James Wong is behind it, and you know it's going to be touching on William again, and especially after last season's Founder's Mutation. I'm really dreading. I may have to have the hankies on hand. I'm really looking forward to that though. So fingers crossed it won't be as much of a letdown as I hate to say this was a letdown, but it was. I think I've just gotten myself so pumped and ready to see this episode, because I will say both this and Plus One have really started to get me into this season. I'm really enjoying and looking forward to episodes, and we just had the mid-season trailer come out showing a lot of clips from the episode Kitten, which has got Haley Joel Osment in. So I'm really hyped for the rest of the season. And it's just kind of a bummer when you then get an episode like this that is not bad, but just misses the mark somehow. I am sorry, guys, if you were hoping for me to really gush over this episode. I know a lot of you will like this, and I can completely understand why you would like it. It just fell flat for me. But, yeah, that was this episode. And we will be back next week. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please keep commenting, share your thoughts, talk about stuff and what you got out of this episode. Did you enjoy the superimposed clips from the original run back in the day? That was, like I say, I will say the green screen on that was way better than it was on the cigarette smoking man in the history clips in My Struggle 3. But, yeah, no, please share your thoughts. Please check out my other videos. And I will see you somewhere down the line.